Welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. Let's continue unpacking sound-alikes slash lookalikes. Okay, today we have actually non-alikes. But it is confusing because if you remember what we have dealt with whole week long of this Cai character on the left side, it looks almost like that. Almost it's a look alike. However, the whole thing doesn't sound anything like Cai or Cai. Different tonation, but share the same consonant and vowels. Here, this character has nothing to do with Cai. It's not three-finger hand symbol on top of a tree to pick fruits off the tree. This is not a tree. Even if we end up looking very much similar, the difference in contemporary Cai versus this thing, I have to check out how it's pronounced because I don't use that in my everyday language as an independent word. It's pronounced as a bian. We don't use that anymore. It's retained in characters like this. It's part of a radical, but it's not used on its own because the situation to call for usage is gone, basically. What it is, this bian describes an animal, a beast footprint or paw print, let's say. It's a animal's paw, and this bian basically is paw reading. Not sure if you guys have came across a wild animal footprint in the wilderness. I did. And the sense of you want to be able to tell what exactly that is? What kind of big cat is this? How big is the cat? How fresh is the footprint? Meaning how far away the cat could be? Okay, all that were survival skills. We used to be like a requirement, have to know. Like, if we don't know about this, we are dead. Our genes don't pass down, right? So that used to be a critical survival skill. And then eventually humans gather, we build towns, we build roads, we build our own human world. And animals, like my neighbors, if they see a coyote roaming on the road, they will freak out. All right? So that's the level of humans and animals, like in a regular human, would be. Like we basically live in our own human world. And this human-animal interaction was reduced to minimum unless you put yourself out there in nature. Okay, so this paw reading became a Chinese concept of differentiating or distincting or discerning. So all this D word, simply Chinese bian. It sounds like a bian. And later on, we have another Chinese bian that means differentiate. Probably it's related. It's a sound carry over to this. But this looks like a rice symbol, right? If we take off the top slant cover, the remaining of it would be rice. And rice is a totally different thing. So here, one pointer of how Chinese character formation, when it transformed into a contemporary version, as you see here, we have 4 strokes on this cross line, and then this middle cross line, which could be the middle finger of the animal, right? The beast, kind of bending toward the right. If you remember, if you've been on the channel long enough, we have looked at a human hand, 5-finger hand symbol, and then the middle finger is pointing toward the right. It's not a straight middle finger. Okay, Chinese had no, at least back then, clue about middle finger raising. What does that mean in a different culture? So that totally has nothing to do with the middle finger thing. This middle finger twisting, kind of slanting toward the right on the top, was used to differentiate from that same thing, same structure, 5-finger hand symbol, tilting toward the left. If it's left, it means crop. No, sorry. It means fur of animal. So it's kind of a fluffy hair on the side. And then because 5 finger, we also express it in the same way. And these two things end up looking the same. So someone decide add this extra stroke. The left is hair or fur. The right means hand. Now here, the animal, the beast's hand also tilted toward the right. And when we preserve it into a more writing-friendly way, instead of doing this little tilting thing, which is probably not that easy, we kind of standardize it to put this tilt kind of slanted, sitting as if it's an umbrella on top of this pole. The whole thing is a paw, animal or beast paw, and this, association with a human hand tilting toward the right, totally explainable. And here it's simply the simplification of this top stroke. Instead of connecting into one, we separate it. This is more manageable in writing. Okay, now when we see the right side, it's a lot fun going on, Okay, this is contemporary version, simplified, because you see a lot less contents in there. A lot was skipped and erased. Traditional Chinese, you can still see similarities with this 2,000 years ago seal script version of it. Seal script preserve among the three the best to the original meaning or intention in this visual, this logographic language, stacking up 3 different things to mean something. And today, for the sake of efficiency of writing, we lose all that nuances. Okay, let's look at the Xushen's dictionary 2,000 years ago. This eyeball symbol, it's a horizontal line. We also have vertical line that we met not long ago. I guess it was not really matter if it's a horizontal or vertical line. Eyeball, it simply is it's a space. Which version of the eyeball rendering would serve the frame. Here, the eyeball is on top of everything else. And it's a stacking up thing. So if you put a vertical eyeball, it's going to be even more like vertically long. So to make it less out of proportion, because we try to aim for Chinese character kind of a box, a square shape, not too long a rectangle shape, right? So that makes sense. Eyeball. The middle means somebody is leaving, walking. You can almost see the stick figure or starfish, excuse me, a figure of this human person leaving its cave. And then the bottom. Okay, interestingly, the bottom actually is a contemporary Chinese yuan's dollar sign. It's a money symbol. However, ancient times, that means a type of corporal punishment. So corporal punishment appears as somebody leaving are 2 ways to inflicting pain on that person. One is a physical pain. So I'm guessing this is kind of a pointy, sharp thing puncturing through your skin, something like that. Inflict physical pain on you. The other one, this leaving, this departing, is almost like a social punishment that make you leave far away from your homeland, from your home country, hometown, your home folks, your homies. And that, ancient times, was a big emotional punishment. So 2 ways to punish people. And together, this punishing methods form the concept of somebody committed a crime. Because why you get a punishment? Because it's a crime. So the result of punishment, the visuals for punishment, end up describing a crime, the reason for punishment. It becomes crime. So the whole thing, the eyeball for crime at the bottom, means detecting, looking out for crime. And I would imagine that was the kind of ancient police work, right? Somebody probably working for the government back then, the king, the ruler, the emperor, to look out for crime so that the society is under control. So this crime looker, observer, this whole thing becomes detection and pronounced as E, which I don't use that much at all. But this is the E sound. So I guess because the sound same, kind of looks similar, and so it was simplified as such. This detection and the discerning together becomes release because this 是 almost means untie a knot. And either you discern or detect, almost like in that mess, in that jumble, you were able to sort out something. You are going to separate and make something in order. From chaos, create order by discerning or detecting. And then in this process, you kind of almost like untie a knot. Before it's a knot, things are tangled together. It's almost like unresolvable, unexplainable, unapproachable. Once you are able to untie it, things are in its place. All of a sudden, the world is at peace. So, okay, I'm a little bit exaggerating, but that's how I look at this character. It's a lot going on. And some deep meanings, like either Paul reading, discerning, or this crime looker, this detecting, are big human concepts. One for societal, one for survival. And together they make the concept of untie something, to release it. Okay, 释怀, release what you hold to your heart. 怀, almost like your chest. Something you hold grudge about. And when you release that, it's like you enlighten yourself. That's 释怀. You kind of forgive. Okay, a yoga program I listen to is like forgive is forgiving. Giving yourself a gift. So that's 释怀. Okay, 解释, 解, cutting cows with knife and cutting off the cow's horns first. So this whole thing means dissecting. When we have dissecting paired with releasing together, it actually means explain. And that's something, I think it's quite deep because we have to wrap our mind a lot about why dissecting, cutting, like butchering a cow, plus this discerning, like reading the animal paws or looking out for crimes, together can mean explaining. Observing nature, observing beast, observing human behavior, or cutting animal into pieces. All these, I guess, human activities are kind of separating things into chunks or places. Therefore, we are able to explain. Because the world is a complex system, right? Things are sequentially happening, but also it's multi-factor. So a ton of X, a ton of Y. How are you going to sort out which X cause which Y, or multiple X cause multiple Ys? So all that by cutting, discerning, detecting, that's the way we explain. I guess it's kind of we build our theory about something so that kind of build a model out of something, right? So that we can explain it in a better way. All right, 儒释道 are the three major philosophies or religions in Chinese. 儒 is Confucius, 释 is Buddhism. The reason why does release or explain become Buddhism? Because Chinese translate the founder of Buddhism It's called a shikamoni, I guess, English pronunciation. But the Chinese translate the 释迦牟尼. And we see, okay, it's 4 characters. It's not typical Chinese name. And also something linked together, it's totally not sensible to a Chinese ear. So we know it's a kind of translation, but we choose the 是, shika, right? This, we translate 是 with this character. It's also beyond borrowing the sound. We try to borrow the meaning from this character as well, because Buddhism a lot is about letting go, about releasing your ego, letting go your past, something like detachment, right? That's Buddhism. And this 是 is perfectly sitting there of as a Chinese concept of releasing with attach it to the Buddhism teachings. Okay, Tao simply is Taoism. So the 3 philosophies individually talking about 如, how you're dealing with human society or other humans. 是, how you're dealing with yourself. What's your own understanding of yourself? And Tao is how you are putting yourself in the big picture of nature, how you're part of the whole universe. So 3 layers, and 是 is this layer of letting go. All right, thank you for your time. See you another day.